All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Super Tournament, sponsored by Intel, supported there by the Girl Generation K-pop band, and of course LG Cinema 3D, G-Skill as well, supporting us here, supporting esports, supporting excellent games like the ones we just saw. Slayer's Ganji taking out MVP. Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa. And I feel like I say this every cast, but can you believe that's only the first match? Like, we still have 3 great matches coming up. I'm always like surprised. I'm always like, man, that was great. Oh, man. I wish there was more. And I'm like, there is! Yes!
I feel like we get all the epic casts. We're like, yes, we're so lucky.
Well, there have been some other epic games
that I've gotten
to watch, too.
There have been.
Man, going back to, I know I've said this like yesterday also, but Nesty versus SC FOU. I got to be here in the studio when that happened. And at the end of that last game, the crowd went absolutely ape excrement.
I heard about all that stuff. I have a long story.
It's another thing I have
on
YouTube, actually. I put up a video of the crowd like cheering the winner.
I really wish I watched that series live. I really regret not doing it.
Wolf is a livist, by the way.
I am a livist. I like everything live. I don't like watching VODs, but I do watch VODs only for the GSL.
All right.
I'm kidding. I watch some other VODs, but mostly the GSL. All right, her first player here is OGS SuperNova, whose win rate versus Terran recently is 3 wins, 3 losses, and 50%. He's currently in Code S. He just kind of shot up suddenly and appeared and did really well. You know, he qualified for Code A. Everyone was like, who's this guy? And then he just did extremely well. And then got into Code S immediately. Made it to the round of 16 last season.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Terran versus Terran is SuperNova's worst matchup, statistically speaking.
His TBZ is really good.
He's got some losses to Top. He beat Maka, he beat Marine King in the Asian Champions Trophy, but you know, kind of here and there. He's hit and miss. He's beaten some good players. He's lost to some good players as well. But definitely just not his top matchup. That's all. He's not bad by any means. Terran versus Terran.
No, definitely not. And up next is his opponent, a player called Slayer's MMA, the teammate of Ganji, winning the last match. Now, he's still in Code A. He's done well in the team league. And of course, MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I thought.
Yeah, man, he lost to Marine King and someone else who I'll check in a moment. He beat Fox Lin. Up and down matches. He had like really tough up and down matches.
He beat Fox Lin to get to where he is now.
Yep.
And that match, he looked a little weak. It was a TBT, and I have to say, you know, he didn't look very solid there. So I'm a little worried for him today. He wants to take this game off SuperNova, who's a pretty awesome player. His TBT, like you said, is his worst matchup, but I think SuperNova might be on just a higher caliber than MMA.
Maybe. I mean,
he looks
MMA,
really happy right now. He looks pretty confident.
He's one of these players. Well, he's a player, I guess, that he's like really, really good. Everyone says he's really good. He has yet to really, truly show it. I mean, in the team league, he's like really good, but he's like the C shield of Starcraft 2 in a way. You know, he does good in the team league, but he doesn't like show any good personal results yet. I mean, obviously Starcraft 2 is young, so it's kind of it's early to make that kind of a comparison anyway. But MMA, everyone says he's like super good. He just hasn't really like started showing his true potential yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So I'm worried for him, but maybe he can prove himself here today against SuperNova.
Yeah,
because I think SuperNova is on a much higher level than Fox Lin. Not to insult Fox Lin, but he and Moon both on a team that they're the only members of the team, and they don't have a lot of people to practice with. They've got a lot of work ahead of them, but SuperNova, I feel like on the team OGS, he's got a ton of practice for this match. Might be able to take it out easily.
Yeah, I mean, SuperNova can practice with like Top on OGS, and what was that?
I just thought the game was about to start. I was trying to warn you. I was like, oh, the game's about to start.
Not quite yet. We are going to be starting very soon, though, on the map for Fox.
I just can't wait, Voltrap. I was just like, oh my god, it's starting, but it's not quite.
Can't wait?
Can't wait.
Type into the game lobby, go, 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 and see if they go.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. I typed it in.
Anyway, there are players right there. SuperNova on the left, MMA on the right. Having a little bit of good, fun, sportsmanly chat before the game starts. Crevasse is going to be the first set, and as you can see there, SuperNova did not want to play on Zelnaga Caverns. MMA did not want to play on Belshire Beach, so map 2 will be Zelnaga, and if it goes to a third and final set, it will be Crossfire. But again, the first map is Crevasse we are going to be starting in just a moment here. These guys are really evenly matched. SuperNova's had some more success, but can MMA show his success here in the Super Tournament? Let's find out.
OGS SuperNova versus Players MMA.
I love those intros, dude.
Yeah.
And Intel.
Oh, that's right. Here's the player who is doing well in, doing pretty well in Code S at least. Came right out of, I think he got second in Code A.
OGS SuperNova.
I always forget who like won and who got
Yeah,
second.
he actually
in the
lost to
Code A
Lucira, if I
finals.
remember correctly.
That's right, yeah. And here is his opponent from the Team Slayers, a player who is rumored to be extremely good, does well in the Team League.
Players MMA.
Does extremely well in the Team League, beats like everyone. I think he went 6-0 against like top level players in the Team League.
Yeah. As a fan in the audience. Salang Heyo says at the end she loves him.
Who does she love?
I'm guessing that was, I actually didn't read the
Probably
beginning
MMA.
part, but most likely MMA. Now SuperNova is actually,
MMA is a cool guy.
or rather, sorry, MMA went for a fast gas, similarly to his teammate, Ganji.
Yep, and looks like SuperNova is going to scout pretty early, but his scout's going to go the wrong direction, so he won't actually get much information. No, wait. That's kind of interesting. He checks the tower on the top right and then immediately goes down to the bottom left.
Well, actually, if you check that top right tower, if your opponent scouts at the same time as you, you'll either see his SCV coming from one direction or the other. That one tower gives vision of enough area, so he would have probably seen his opponent's SCV, so I kind of like that. Because SCV would have come down from the top right to scout the top, or the top left to scout the top right, or the top right to scout the bottom right, most likely. And if either way, if he was one of the top positions, you would have seen it.
That's true. That's cool.
So pretty smart move there, but of course MMA scouted really late.
Yeah,
so that
MMA
didn't end up
scouted
being the
late,
case.
so like if he
Yeah.
was up in the top right, he would have completely missed it, so it's kind of interesting.
But he does get in, he sees the gas first, which is really, really handy. Normally you don't get to see that, so he's very lucky to be able to see. It looks like it is going to be a reactor going down for SuperNova, so he's going to be doing that reactor marine expand. That's pretty popular.
By the way, clarification, it was actually Huck that helped keep MMA in Code A, and I was wrong. He actually only went 3-0 in the GSL Team League. My apologies. I think it was actually Donregu was like 6-0 before their game. But MMA still beat the ace Donregu. And keep in mind, MMA actually beat SC, a very strong Terran player in the Team League as well.
Yeah,
So he's definitely got the skills to beat
if I
top
remember correctly,
players.
MMA was the guy they were calling for a while the Terran sniper for the Team League because he was like sniping everyone in TBT. But as it turns out, you know, his results kind of fell down a little bit from then. They've done as well recently, and a lot of the time you look at a player like this and go, oh, well, he's still in Code A, so he's not that good. You know, he can't be that good because he can't get into Code S, and there are some bad players in Code S, a lot of people say. So maybe the mindset a lot of viewers have, but he's definitely a top player. He's on the Team Slayers. He's practiced with Ganji, the guy who just took out MVP, and now he's going to do a little bit of a Banshee opening here, switching the factory and the starport. No barracks in that switch.
Nope. No barracks in that switch. Yeah, so the command center is almost up for, and it looks like, is he going? Yes, he is getting Cloak, actually. So MMA going for Cloak Banshees. And Hellion trying to run in the front. Gets popped. No scouting for you.
Now, what's interesting is that SuperNova is actually going for a very bio-heavy style, getting Stim and Combat Shields. Well, actually, Combat Shields first. Making that orbital right now. So he's got a pretty decent Marine count. He knows what his opponent's up to. He's positioning his Marines at the back of his base, knowing either Hellions or Banshees are going to drop in any second, so he wants to be prepared for that. Engineering Bay actually finishing up right now as well. So he's actually completely prepared for what he's about to be thrown at him. To stutter over my words. SuperNova does have enough for one scan. If he saves it.
By the way, SuperNova did just scan and got a scout of that starport, although I guess he obviously knows right now that this Banshee is here, but he did not see the tech lab, so he could not see if Cloak was upgrading. So he's getting turrets up just in case.
It's so hard to defend with just Marines against Cloak Banshees. You've got to have Vikings out. Missile turret is in a pretty good spot, so this is going to give him some pretty good vision, but he just can't kill the Banshee because your Marines just aren't fast enough without Stim. A well-controlled Banshee, a Banshee that's given its tender love and care. Care for the Banshee and she'll do good things for you. She will. Gotta take care of your Banshees. Don't want to fly them into missile turrets.
If you take care of your Banshees, will they feed you soup when you're sick?
Yeah, they will.
Will they?
One of those Banshees actually is Marine King's girlfriend, I heard.
What?
Yeah. I heard that.
Okay.
Someone told me that.
Good to know. Good to know. Interesting choice to be dating the
King of Marines, man.
pilot of a futuristic spacecraft. But I'm not going to hate on him for that. Stim is now being upgraded as well.
Yeah,
for
speaking of Marines,
SuperNova.
Look at all those Marines. They all have combat shields. Looks like he wants to put a little bit of pressure on, which is much more effective on a different map than this one. Fancy from back base. Oh! Didn't give that Banshee the care she deserved. Flew right into a missile turret. Gonna catch some of these Marines of MMA in the middle of the map.
In the doghouse.
And here come those Marines now.
There's
They're
a
gonna
ton
run
of
up.
Marines, and there's no siege mode yet.
And there's no bunker.
And there's no any defenses at all whatsoever. He's going to take down the depots very quickly. And in the Banshee coming back in here to try and help out. But multitasking, failing MMA as his Banshee gets killed in the main of SuperNova, bringing out everything to try and stop this. He doesn't even have siege mode. He's chasing him back. If he can take his ramp and get siege mode up, he can hold this barely, but every SCV is going down.
Oh, wow. He actually wasn't even able to clean it up with those SCVs. And in fact, he might not even be able to clean this up at all, Mole Trap.
No, I think he's...
oh, man. Choosing siege mode was actually the worst possible choice because, well, SuperNova didn't control perfectly. I was going to say, he's still not going to be able to hold it. Okay, just barely. Just barely.
Wow.
Yeah, if SuperNova had controlled that just right, he could have gotten on top of that tank and just wiped it out. Nice choice to make a Reaper. Reaper going to kill Marines so quickly. Also has pretty good speed, so he can kill the retreating Marines as well.
Marines rallied in here for SuperNova. Now, here's the thing. You might be thinking, oh, MMA held that off. That's pretty sweet. But guess what? He's got 15 SCVs. SuperNova has 40.
Yeah, it's not looking good for MMA. He's going to have to make something happen. He does have siege mode, which is the one thing that's going for him. But unfortunately, siege mode, if your opponent has just so many more Marines than you can buffer with, you're just going to run on top of the siege tanks and kill him. He's got Stim, he's got combat shields.
Yeah. Basically, and you know what would be a good move, I think, for SuperNova would be to expand again right now? Because at this point, MMA, he can chill in his base, and he has no choice, rather, but to chill in his base and just siege up and defend for a while he gets his SCV count back up. Maybe go for a drop or something like that. But he can't attack. There's no way MMA can attack. So SuperNova might as well just expand and out macro him, because I don't think he can quite break up that ramp either.
Yeah, and actually, I was going to say the same about MMA. He's making a command center in his main now to try to catch up, because there's no way the ramp can easily be broken, so he can make that command center inside of his base, get his SCV count back up. Banshee over here trying to do her best. He cared for that one. She ran away.
Yep. Commander of the Terran Army taking a little bit more pity on the families of that Banshees.
Not caring about the Banshees, or the families of that SCV, rather.
No. Anyway, this is war.
This is war.
You have to make sacrifices in war.
Sometimes you make sensor towers in war also, and that's what
true.
SuperNova has done at the back of his expansion, so he's going to see when those Banshees come. Banshee running out of cloak at an inopportune moment. Flying over the high ground. He's trying to use the Zelnaga Watchtower for vision to shoot at it, but every time he moves out of the Zelnaga Watchtower, he can't see the Banshee anymore. Funky situation there.
That Banshee should probably go home and repair at this point.
Yeah, double drop for SuperNova. Don't think that Banshee spotted it.
That's a smart move. If he can get if he can trade anything, if he can trade any Marines for SCVs, even trade Marines for Marines, he knows he's ahead. So it's a good trade for him to get an even trade.
Oh man, he's gonna drop on top of this Banshee too.
Oh.
If he has another scan saved up, he can actually kill it immediately.
Oh,
try to target it down.
Oh, didn't have enough energy.
Oh, no more cloak energy, and this orbital is starting to take some serious fire. Is he going to target it down? No, he probably should lift. There are siege tanks. Lifts just in time. Nice control by SuperNova. Oh, but he's running up at the front. Targets down those siege tanks.
Beautiful move by SuperNova. He's
gonna
gonna kill Stim. No Stim. That's why he couldn't Stim at the top either.
Even killing a reactor, maybe even killing more reactors, killing a tech lab here.
Oh,
no more
man.
tanks at that factory.
SuperNova just did an add-on genocide.
He's not even done yet, man.
He's killing add-ons left and right.
The dropships have been spotted, but he may have so many Marines that this small force of MMA is not enough.
Dropping back in at the same time. The medevacs, he targets the medevacs, but falls back before killing them. Doesn't get any damage done. Siege is up there. And he's going to lose some Marines and a medevac, but that's okay, man. That was a beautiful move. He's like, oh, you can't have that many tanks. You only have one factory. You pull 2 tanks back to defend this drop. You probably don't have anything on your ramp.
That was a really smart move.
You want to charge up and kill all your add-ons.
And now, actually, SuperNova has a 3rd base out. He's going to transfer some of his SCVs there shortly. Right now, he's got 59 SCVs, just 35. He's got a much larger army and map control.
And 3rd base.
Yep.
And basically an advantage in everything in the game right now.
And actually, MMA is in the spot where he can't really break down his ramp either because he's sieged at the bottom. And we saw in Game 2, or actually it was Game 1 of MMA, or Ganji versus MVP, there's so many M's. If you try to break down a ramp with there's siege tanks at the bottom, it's not easy. It's like the least cost-efficient thing you could ever do.
Yeah, it's really tough. A beautiful move to do that. Soft contain there, not overcommitting to the contain, but making it so it's going to be costly to move out and try and take his 3rd.
He still has that dropship full of Marines that he could use at any time as well. Spread his forces out, but not too thin. He's just got a pretty good sense of map control right now.
And did MMA, did he lose that 3rd command center he was making in his main?
Nope, he's
it's still there.
Like
okay.
I said, he couldn't
So
move it out.
He's mule off of it.
Yeah, he's muling off of it and he making SCVs off of it to keep his SCV count back up. Just like I said, he probably intended to do because, if your opponent's got a better army than you and you've got a pretty good defensible position, you lost a lot of SCVs, the best thing to do is just make a command center in your base to get your SCV count back up.
Yeah, this is really interesting. We just saw MMA drop some random Marines out on the map. Maybe try to get a little bit of map control, try and see what's going on around, try and do some sniping, reinforcements or something. There they are.
Yeah, he's just trying to clean up the Zelnaga watchtowers because MMA had all of them, or SuperNova rather had all of them, and he's just trying to go and pick those off, clean them up, so it leaves SuperNova a little bit in the dark in the middle of the map.
And also make it so he can't just rally everything forward, and if he does, he'll get punished by counterattack. And there's MMA making another command center in his main, probably going to try and float it out to one of the sort of inside expansions if he can.
Uh-oh, going to catch these Marines though in the middle of the map, and a dropship.
Yeah, he showed that SuperNova saw that those forces moving around, so he sent this force out to specifically target that drop down, make sure there's no rogue forces out on the map.
And SuperNova's been doing a great job of sending Marines around to all the bases to check to see, have you taken any hidden expansions? And he knows you haven't. So he's just been doing a really good job of knowing exactly what MMA is up to.
Ooh, it's so close. Little white lines almost touching SuperNova's siege tanks.
SuperNova's lines are touching his. Scans. A little bit of a siege tank battle here. The siege tank count advantage definitely goes to MMA at this particular location. And actually what SuperNova could do if you wanted to try to move some of his Marines forward, tank some of the damage, and win the fight because MMA's Marines are so far back. And he may try to do it. Not sure if he should though. He needs to be a little bit more decisive about it, that's for sure.
He needs to make sure he doesn't lose all those Marines running into the tank fire. He would just lose the major advantage he had if he did that. And actually, yeah, this contain is pretty...
It's pretty much over.
Pretty damaged right now.
Yeah.
Nice move by MMA. He did a really good job of moving out there without losing too much. Just slow and steady. You know the old saying...
Steady wins the race. I do know the old saying. I said it before you could even ask me if I knew it.
Well, I was going to not even say it. That was going to be a joke. You ruined it.
I'm sorry. I'm a joke killer.
I was going to say, you know the old saying, slow and steady breaks the contain. And it's going to be funny because it's not actually what they always say. It's not the old saying.
Well.
But I'm not even going to say that anymore.
It's going to become an old saying.
I'm not even going to say that joke. People are not even going to know what it was that I was going to say. I'm not going to say it.
Uh-oh. Trying to break up a ramp with their siege tanks at the top. That's a bad idea.
Oh. Sorry. I was like...
Moltrad's about to have a seizure.
I was literally
cringing
right here because I thought all of those Marines were going to die in a moment. And MA was going to type out immediately, which is what he should have done if he lost all those Marines. But he pulled them back barely.
Yeah, the supplies right now do tell a pretty good story. 196 supply for SuperNova to 140 of MMA. Actually throwing some more of his Marines away. Actually trying to take that third base. Or fourth base, I should say.
Actually, yeah.
So he had that extra command center. And SuperNova in just such a good spot that MMA, he can't really do anything, and every indecisive move, every mistake he makes with his Marines, he's losing a ton of them.
Yeah, here's the thing.
SuperNova's going to drop maybe on top of these siege tanks.
Oh, beautiful move.
And now he's going to break the siege line with all of his Marines. Sieging up very quickly. Now he's got a ton of Marines. The buffer pulls them back.
Oh, and MMA pulls his Marines back and lets SuperNova take out all of his tanks.
That's how you do it.
That is how you do it, man. That drop was so cool. MMA was like running up to the north with all of his Marines for some reason, and oh, he stims again. All of his Marines are in such low damage. MMA GG's and exits the game, and SuperNova taking a win for OGS here. He says, no, it will not be a Slayer sweep today. OGS will take some matches as well.
That's exactly how he talks, too.
That's exactly how he talks.
Look at him.
He slammed his fist on the desk just like I did, too.
Yeah, he did. They scratched his nose, kind of itchy. Well, sometimes, yeah, sometimes, I didn't do that. You're a liar. I didn't scratch my nose. Don't tell the viewers that.
I would not want anyone to falsely think that I scratched my nose or anything like
Messing
that.
up your makeup. The makeup people listening, they're like, he scratched his nose? What?
Yeah.
Like, run out and fix
Man,
it.
if I can't really like blow my nose very easily, because if I do, mess up my makeup.
Yeah, then like your nose looks a little bit funny because it's a different color. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not a different color, but
No, literally, if I wipe off the makeup, my nose will be like, I'll be like Rudolph. My like actual skin colored nose will.
and then we'll call you
redder
Rudolph.
than
You'll
the
change
rest of
your
my
ID,
face.
and it'll be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Caster.
It's gonna happen. That's what would happen.
That's why
Not
you don't blow your
actually.
nose.
That's why I don't blow my nose. No. Yeah, the makeup ladies are always coming in here, and they're like if you like, just accidentally touch your face just a little bit. Sure enough, at the next commercial break, they'll come in there and touch up your makeup.
The makeup ladies are great, though.
They are.
I really like them. They do a good job. They always do funny things
They're
with my
awesome.
hair, but because they always say in Korean, like, I don't know what to do with his hair. I'm like, I know what you're saying. It's okay. My hair's kind of weird, but whatever.
Oh man.
I love them though. They do whatever they want. They do a good job. It's like whatever they do, they just like don't like, oh, I'm gonna do something with your hair, and it's like people say I look like Naniwa. I'm like, that's cool. I look like a pro gamer. I am a pro gamer, technically. Technically.
I'm a procaster.
Procaster.
Yeah.
There's actually an application for livestream.com called Procaster. It's already taken.
I'm not that.
If I press start, are you gonna stream to livestream.com?
Why, actually, no. But the next map is going to be Zelnaga Fortress.
That's
It's going to be
true.
very interesting to see if MMA can come back here. Made a few mistakes, or actually I wouldn't even say mistakes, but there was a few instances where I want to credit SuperNova actually instead of taking anything away from MMA. SuperNova just really took advantage of the moments of opportunity that he had.
That's true.
That last game.
He capitalized on all of the mistakes that his opponent was making.
That's right. Even though MMA's name is all capitalized, SuperNova was doing more capitalization in Game 1.
Was.
Anyway, but Zelnaga Fortress is going to be Game 2. We're going to find out in just a moment if MMA can tie up the series and keep Slayers in it for the second match, or if OGS SuperNova is going to close it out and show that he is Code S. Material and MMA is not. Here at the GSL.